going on, guys? It's your boy Kurtz Bain back with another video. Today we're talking about Plato, the Republic, and my thoughts about it. I just want to say this is actually recorded after the video. My intro got messed up, so from what I'm going to explain right before it starts. Basically, Plato, he is envisioning this perfect world, this perfect society, and he's writing down rules on how to do it. He's writing down how the system should be ran and how each person's job and what their purpose in the community is. Okay, I'll let my past self take it away from here. So that's one part of it. It was starting to answer some of the thoughts I was having. But another thing that I feel is the most important thing so far that I've taken from this is Plato's talking about the soldiers, the guardians of the civilization, right? All the men have their own jobs that they're the best at. They're the greatest at this one thing. They don't dive into other hobbies or other tasks. No, they're the best fisherman or the best blacksmith, or in this case, the best soldiers, right? Now, why do the soldiers have to be the most important thing that's talked about? Because they're the person who executes violence. They are the person who has control and monopoly of violence through the ruler, right? So the soldiers, say in this society, the police officers and the army men and whoever, right? They have to be held to the highest moral standard because they have the highest responsibility, which is saving and taking lives, right? They have to be held to a higher standard. Okay, what does this mean? In a perfect society, the soldiers and these men from birth are censored in a way that they only see things that are going to benefit, sorry guys, message, that are going to benefit their mission as being a soldier. Okay? Now, when we look and say, all right, what does this entail, right? Plato says we need to get rid of all the poems and scriptures that make men fear death. We need to instill these thoughts in them that there is an afterlife, because if they don't think there's an afterlife, they're not going to lay down their lives in the battlefield and die for this king. So we see a little bit of manipulation there, and we see a little bit of propaganda to actually get this soldier class to think the way that they need to think so that they can benefit the king and the community as much as possible. So there is a little bit of ethical, unethical going on there, because, you know, you could argue that it's unethical for the soldiers, but maybe ethical for the grand scheme of things, protecting the community. You know, there's some debate there. Not only do they censor religion, but they censor music. And any kind of depressing or submissive music is outlawed. And courageous music is more sought after for the soldiers. They want these soldiers to listen to music that instills bravery within them and the feeling of they want to protect the nation, to protect the country, right? Now, another thing that they do is they talk about the importance of philosophical thinking, right? As well as keeping your body in shape and in tune together. And Plato even argues that your body, that training your body, getting muscles is just one of the secondary things, whereas in reality, training your body is training your mind first and foremost. And he talks about the two sides of the coin. On one side, you might have this philosopher, this school smart, book smart thinker who is overly sensitive and lacks physical strength. On the other side, you have this person who dedicates all of their time into physical training and power, but they're crude and they're uncivilized and they're hard to manage, and they get in trouble all the time, right? So what do? We merge the two so that we can have an intelligent and civilized and merciful soldier who is also brave and courageous and not overly sensitive to life itself. So they're trying to breed these perfect soldiers and this perfect army, right? As well as banning um, drinking because they don't think that they should be under the influence and not be able to take care of themselves. They're holding these people to a much higher standard. They are saying that those of the, and now within this whole class of soldiers, there's got to be a hierarchy, right? Of who's the general and who's the foot soldier. So as they are being brought up as children, the leaders of the community are watching them very closely. And those who feel more dedicated to the community and who will never betray them and who will do whatever it takes for the benefit of the community, those are the people who are known as auxiliaries, who are the ruler's auxiliary and are the ones who take out whatever the king or queen or emperor wants. They are the ones who he drops the order, and then they are the one who continues and follows through with it. So what we're seeing is not only are they this perfect class of men, but they are levels to it. And Plato even wants us to not indulge in weakness. They don't want those soldiers hanging around the weak men. And in fact, they don't want weak men in the community at all. They say if you can't even perform your job title without getting sick and constantly needing the doctor, he actually bans those people from getting any medical attention and hopes that they die off. So we see a little bit of like a eugenics kind of side of this perfect community, like the weak need to die off so that the strong can stay alive. He says if you can't even do your job without getting sick and requiring a doctor's help over and over again, you shouldn't be allowed in the community at all. So while a lot of his ideas in here so far I agree with and I see being very helpful to communities and society, I do see a lot of propaganda and a lot of bending the truth to people for the betterment of society. And I feel like one of the ethical questions, because this whole book's about justice and ethics, right? Like what's right and wrong and what's best for all. I think the question I'd like to ask you guys, and maybe you could answer it in the comments if you've made it this far in the video, would be, is it morally, ethically correct to lie to them, bend the truth for the benefit of the society itself? Thank you guys.